Have you ever got scammed? What happened? I bought $300 plus tickets to Scenics at MSG from Craigslist. Dumb, I know. That turned out to be fake. I got so pissed I walked into a New York City precinct and told them I want to file a complaint. The detective at the time said they're busting a lot of people in these fake ticket rings and we could bust him if we set up another sale. The next day I contacted the same guy from another number and we set up to meet him. The detective was dressed casually and I pretended to be his girlfriend. He gave us the tickets by Dylan's Candy Bar and was busted right there. It was fun. Someone tried to scam me by creating a Craigslist ad giving away things that are left outside my business. He even got some of my staff to help him load it onto a trailer by showing them the ad. The scam that almost got me is actually brilliant. I was selling a car on Craigslist and got a call from this guy who seemed super interested. He followed up by text asking if it had a clean history. Next text, he sends me a link to what appeared to be an alternative to Carfax, asking me to get a history report for $30 before he drives out. I was literally putting in my credit card info before I paused to think the website might be fake. Turns out it was only registered with Icon that day. Totally fake. One time I woke up to $10 100 charges in microtransactions for a mobile base building game. Never owned or played the game, and was overdrafted $600 plus while the bank tried getting the money back. Short story from my childhood. Someone tried to steal my working NES. Late 80s, I was about 9 or something. Had a friend call me up, invited me to his house so he could clean my NES. Thought it was strange, but he was very insistent and I didn't want to argue. Brought it over, he started cleaning the NES, asked me to get something from the kitchen. A butter knife I think. I went, found it after a few seconds of searching, brought it back. He said he was finished, left the NES on top of his TV, and left the room to get something. My NES looked very different. Stared at it a bit, it was missing a crack that had always been there. Looked on the floor where his NES was, it had the crack. Ducker tried the old switcheroo. I tensed up, didn't want to argue with the kid, confrontation wasn't my strong point. I just switched them back as quickly as I could. He was gone for a while, actually had a lot of time. After he came back, told him I had to go, thanked him for the cleaning, went home. After about 30 minutes, he called my house again. He asked me which NES did I take home, told him I took mine. He asked again. Yeah, but did you take the one on the TV or the one on the floor? Just told him again, I took mine. He sounded defeated as he said, alright, bye. Was looking for a job and got a call for an interview and went in and it was some MLM for like vitamin juice or something. I was sitting in the front and was polite so I sat through the video and then started to walk out and that's when they started being super pissy. I said I don't spend a lot of money without talking it over with my wife and the lady said, well I guess we can't do anything if you're not the man of the house and your wife wears the pants. Don't feel bad. I got scammed by Primerica. It's basically a financial services MLM like if the rainbow vacuum guy could sell you life insurance and mutual funds. I had just moved with my husband out of state and was looking for a job. Someone gave them our number and they said they were interviewing 4 people. I went to the interview which wound up being a room of 20 others and they asked all of us for contact information for friends and family. Since I didn't know anyone, I had a great excuse. I thought something was weird then. But I soon realized that this wasn't a real job. The office was obviously one they were renting for a couple months and was so sad looking. I was fresh out of college and so embarrassed until a very savvy friend of mine said she'd been taken to. Not me, but a customer at Best Buy. A customer came in, demanding to speak with the manager, regarding a TV he had ordered. The manager he asked for was Tammy, and we had no managers by that name, nor pickup orders for this customer in our system. I asked for more details. The customer had responded to a Craigslist ad for an unbelievable price on a TV. The seller claimed to be a manager at our store, and instructed him to make payment by purchasing gift cards for the asking price, then send pics of the back of the gift cards to the seller. The customer did all this, then was advised the TV would be ready for pickup at our store. Needless to say, there was no TV for him. He demanded to speak to an actual manager, who kindly informed him that he was out of luck. My local Home Depot has a sign to the effect of "You cannot pay your tax debt with Home Depot gift cards." If someone has contacted you claiming to be from the IRS and has asked you to make payments with Home Depot gift cards, please talk to an associate. Everyone knows the IRS only take iTunes gift cards. The worst one is probably when I was desperately applying for jobs after graduating. Hadn't found a job for months in the finance sector and just applied to be an admin assistant at a small local exchange. Looked up their website and everything looked legit. The hiring manager spoke fairly fluent English. They said they were interested in hiring me for a position that leveraged more of my education. I was stoked. Almost 1.5x the pay and the workload was much more my style. They wanted some identifying information like my driver's license and passport. Didn't think too much about it. Scanned it off and sent it to them. They told me everything looked good and they wanted to do a phone interview. I asked them why not in person, and they told me I wasn't at that stage yet. For some reason I felt a bit suspicious, so I looked like the address on their letterhead, which was a legit business park in my area. Called them and the phone lines were dead. Called the building owner and they told me that the property was vacant and had been for almost a year now. At this point I knew identity theft would be possible, so I just went into a full-blown panic getting everything exchanged. Learned a valuable lesson that day. Didn't lose anything but duck if my personal information is floating around somewhere. Yeah, I was on vacation and didn't have my phone on. The scammers called my house and my sister was house sitting for my wife and I. They told her I was going to be tried for an undisclosed criminal charge if I didn't pay them something like $900 for the case to be dismissed, or I would be arrested or served the next day. She tried calling me and I didn't answer as I was on vacation. I left her one of my bank cards so she could buy food and stuff since she was doing me a favor. She paid them with it as she thought it was real, and I am not a saint, so it was believable at the time, and this was a while ago before these scammer tactics were well known. I was so mad as I noticed the charge when I checked my online banking while still away. Worst thing is now I guess I am on a list of people who had fallen for this and they call me all the time. In the 90s my friend got all of these letters saying he was a part of a contest, and he just had to keep mailing letters in to enter the drawing. The wording they put in the later letters was something like, "You've made it to the final round, and congratulations. We are now prepared to write you a check for $10,000. All he had to do was call a 1-900 number that charged $2 a minute. It took him about 10 minutes to navigate the automated menus once they told him he was a winner, and it ended with, "And you have won." Drumroll. $1. Almost scammed. A friend of mine from college emailed me like he usually does asking how I am. Mentions offhand that his firm is handling an angel investor round for a certain technology startup. I had invested through his employer before with no issue, so I asked him to send me information for me to research. He sends it. It all looks legit. I think it's worth a shot and I ask how much. He sends me the payment information and it looks fishy, like he sends me a physical address for an office tower in Atlanta that I know his firm is not located in, and he also cites a PO box address in that building. I call the building and they say no name of his firm is registered to that building. I pick up the phone and call his cell phone. He doesn't call back. I swing by his house the next day and he has no idea what I am talking about. He says his laptop, phone and wallet were stolen and that he's been frantically closing accounts and getting replacements. Apparently, the scammer went through his contacts, figured out what he did for a living and was trying to bilk all his professional contacts. All of the information he sent me was copied and pasted or straight up forged based on template documents already on the computer. I turned everything I had over to the FBI and my friend's attorneys. One of the guy's contacts were solicited and a handful actually wired cash to the guy, who was eventually caught and convicted of wire fraud. I had to testify during his trial. He's still in prison at the moment. Wild. Eat it. This all went down 10 years ago. That's all for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. If you liked the video, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, the best thing you can do is simply watch the videos. But if you really want to see the channel thrive, subscribe, like, comment, add to favorites, add to playlist, and share with friends. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Reddit and Insta. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you with tomorrow's upload.